Hey everybody, so we're going to be talking about some important vocab and some words that you're going to be hearing as we're talking about polynomials this chapter. Something that's important when we're doing polynomials is you want to try to make sure that it's in standard form. What that means is that you are going to have the terms listed in order from greatest to least, and that's going to be in terms of your degree. So it's greatest to least based upon the degree. Your degree is the number of variable factors of the leading term. Now, right now, that sounds like gibberish to you, but I'm going to show you some examples and we're going to go through it together, so I promise you'll be fine. All right. So before we even talk about standard form and degree, you need to know what a polynomial is. And a polynomial is just a mixture of monomials. So we know monomials means one, and bi means two monomials, tri with three monomials, and poly meaning many of the monomials, so more than one. Now, an example that we had talked about when we were going over exponents was these were monomials. They are constants right here being multiplied by variables. And those variables might be to the exponent of 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever we want. In this case, this would be a monomial, either 2x squared or 4x squared y cubed. A binomial combines one monomial and makes it a set. So 3x to the fifth plus 2x squared is a binomial. X minus 9 is another binomial because you are adding and subtracting two different monomials. And yes, technically 9 is a monomial. And if you really want to know, come and ask me about it in class tomorrow and you'll get extra credit points. The last one is a trinomial, right before we go into polynomials. And this is when you have three monomials being combined or subtracted in some type, form, or fashion. And a polynomial is when you've got more than one. So it could be that this is a polynomial and these are polynomials, but a polynomial, we use that one for anything that's more than three, typically. You can also use it for trinomials. In Algebra 1, we're mostly going to be working with binomials and trinomials, and even monomials. We'll be working with 1 through 3, not as much with polynomials. Now, you'll remember that for monomials, in order for it to be monomial, it can't be taken to that power. It cannot be, you cannot have a variable in the denominator. And remember, this one doesn't count because if we use our negative exponent rule, which I'm sure you guys all remember, right here, this is not a fraction, so we're going to go ahead and make it one. And then because this is a negative exponent, we're going to move it to the other side. And now this becomes 1 over x to the third. And then we've got a variable at the bottom here again, which is why this is not an example of a monomial or polynomial. All right, now we're going to go ahead and talk about standard form and degree. So right here, you've got these different types. This one right here is a monomial. This monomial has a degree of 3. And the way that it has a degree of 3, because there's only one term in this monomial, you add up the exponents right here, 1 plus 2, of all the variables in the first and leading term. So your degree for this is a 3. Your leading coefficient means what is the coefficient of the first term? And that is a 7. For this one, you have a binomial here now, and the leading term is the one with the strongest degree, which is going to be this one because it's x squared. So the degree of it is 2. The leading coefficient is 5. Again, there was not a constant in either of these two cases. Now this one is where it's really long, but it's okay. Since it is still in standard form, we can keep going. And the reason why we know it's in standard form, it goes from 3, 2, 1, none. So the degree of this, you're going to look at the leading term here. That's the one with the strongest exponent. and that 3 is strong. So our degree for this is 3. Our leading coefficient is -8. And this one right here, the one which was with a none, that's your constant, and that's going to be a -5. These first 3 are super easy because they're in standard form. What's not in standard form is this one. So this is where it gets a little bit trippy. But all you have to do is write it in standard form. So we're going to look at this one right here, which is the one with the strongest exponent. We're going to write that one first. Oops. Strike that one out. Let's rewrite it. And it's going to be -x³ plus 6x plus 4. And now we can see that our degree, based upon our leading term, that's a 3. Our leading coefficient, because it's just a minus, that really means that there is a -1 there. So if you need to go in and write a 1 in front of it, ooh, hopefully yours is a little bit better than mine, then go ahead and put it in there. That's going to be your leading coefficient there. And then your constant, again, that's the one without a variable factor next to it, and that's going to be 4. So if you've got these basics down, you are ready to hit polynomials. Thank you for watching.